Hey everyone, I'm Stupid Fat Hobbit, and I'd like to make a quick video guide about how to import some of the new fancier custom hideouts, as well as how to use your favor efficiently. So most of you have already figured out the basics of how to import and export hideouts. You can save everything to a file and then re-import it and get everything back instantly, allowing you to have multiple fancy hideouts under the same hideout subtype. So first things first, you've got a hideout file for some fancy hideout that you'd like to make your own, and you'd like to know what decorations you're still missing. So I've already got a hideout that I've downloaded. We're going to go to Helena over here, switch to Excavated, because that's where it's located, and we're going to import our underground tavern. So you can see a bunch of things teleported into place. We've got some decorations in place, but we're still missing quite a bit. So the question is, how do we get a list of decorations that we're missing? So we're going to what we need to do is we need to export this now with what we have to a file. I'm just going to call it underground calc. Save it, and we go to our website, Hideout Showcase. Now this is where I got the hideout, and it's very important that if you're making hideouts, you upload them to this site, because this is the only way that I know of to get an easy compare list of what decorations you're missing. Now hopefully they will add a function that you can just upload to your files and get a list, but for now you need to actually have them uploaded in order to use this feature. Now how do you use it? You go over to Decorations Needed. This is here, we downloaded it first. We go to Decorations Needed, and we're going to choose File, pick our underground calc, and we're going to calculate it. Now I've already done this, so there, now it's refreshed, and you can see a list of everything we're missing. Like the green stuff is the stuff we have, the black stuff is the stuff we're missing. Now, the important things are the list of the things we're missing, or sorry, the quantity we're missing, which is in this column over here, and the master set they're from, which is listed over here. And it also lists the master level. Now, some of you may remember that I didn't reclaim all the decorations from my previous hideout before I imported this one. And decorations are shared between hideouts. So it's important that you only have one really fancy hideout at a time, otherwise you'll be buying lots of redundant decorations and using lots of extra favor, because you're really only ever going to have one hideout at a time. So we're going to go back over to our luxurious over here. And there's a bit of a bug that seems to show up from time to time where your masters and everything, your stash will reset their position. If that happens. It seems to happen more often when I'm switching hideouts around, and sometimes when I'm running a syndicate. It doesn't seem to happen much when mapping, but if that happens, you just re-import your hideout and everything teleports back into place. But yeah, we're going to reclaim everything in this hideout, and go back over to Helena in the corner, and go back to our excavated, and now we're going to import the main file once again. Whoops. I hit the wrong button, didn't I? And now we can see a bunch of the decorations which were being tied up in the luxurious hideout are now being used over here. So the other thing you want to keep in mind is that when buying decorations, you want to buy the things that are being used the most abundantly first. For example, there's lots of building supplies being used in this hideout. Oh, and I forgot to mention, we need to re-import our file, because we've now imported the new decoration, so this needs to be refreshed. So now this has been updated, and we can see what we're actually missing, which is something like, hold on, I think okay, there we go. So we're missing about 4 million favor of decorations, and it's giving a list of things that we're missing. And I would recommend buying stuff like, okay, this should be listed. I don't know what's going on. I don't think I exported it properly. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Now, building supplies is now listed at 48 out of 196, so it accurately shows that we're missing 150. And, there's the 48 we already have. So when you're buying all of these, you want to buy the stuff that's really abundant first, because that's going to influence the look of the hideout the most. And most importantly, some of the more expensive decorations you might not decide that you want. For example, there was another hideout I was messing with. The guy had spent about 1 million favor on fog. I decided I didn't want to spend 1 million on favor on fog, and the hideout looked pretty good without it. So yeah, I'd highly recommend working from the bottom up. In addition, different levels of decorations require different master levels. You can see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In order to get the masters to 7, I'm not sure exactly what triggers for each one. I started this league with level 7 and everything except for Alva. Pretty sure Nico I started with 7 because I broke 300 last league. Einhar, I don't really know what the trigger was for him. My Alva is 6. The only incursion room, I did 36 challenges in incursion, and the only incursion room I never got to max was the Exile room, because it's so RNG. I'm missing 5 rooms right now. I don't know if I just need to get the Exile room because that's the one I missed in previous league, or I need to get all of them. But given this stuff is usually per league, I would imagine I need to get these rooms to max level in order to get my Alva to 7 and get access to the decorations that I was missing. So yeah, I think that more or less covers everything. Just remember that favor is shared between hideouts and work from the bottom up. Oh, important tip that I almost forgot to mention. A lot of the default hideouts have lots of decorations that come with them by default. For example, Coral Hideout has a lot of coral decorations and a bunch of them can cost favors. So I'd highly recommend going through all your default hideouts and reclaiming everything before you actually do a fancy hideout, because it can save you quite a bit of favor. And if you want to export, your default hideouts to some file, so if you want to mess with them later, because some of them have kind of a decent start. Yeah, I think that just about covers everything. So thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little video guide. I'm Stupid Fat Hobbit, and please remember, there's absolutely no point in leveling 100 if you can't do it with style.